Have you ever stopped, really stopped, looked around your life and asked yourself, how far have I come? Am I really living the life I truly want? I remember one autumn morning sitting in my small kitchen. The coffee was still steaming, sunlight spilled through the window and fell across an old photograph, one I took more than 30 years ago. In it, there's a young man with bright eyes holding a newspaper full of job listings. He believed that if he just worked hard enough, everything would fall into place. But now, when I look back, I smile, because I've learned that life isn't just about working hard, it's about knowing why you're working at all. Hello, my name is Michael. I'm 60 years old. I've lived through the ups and downs of the economy, my career, and my own inner world. There were years I was proud of the big salary, the fancy title, the respect of my colleagues. But there were also nights I couldn't sleep, worried about losing my job, paying the mortgage, and wondering what my future would look like. And through that long journey, I realized one simple truth. No one ever teaches us how to master life. School teaches us how to work. Society teaches us how to spend. But very few teach us how to think about money, about value, and about freedom. Have you ever felt that way? Like you're living in a loop, waking up, going to work, paying bills, and starting all over again, while deep down, you know something's missing. I've met so many people like that. One of my friends, Steve, worked as an engineer for 20 years. He had a nice house, 2 cars, and a secure retirement plan. But one day, when his company restructured, everything vanished in a single meeting. I asked him, "Are you okay?" He gave a faint smile and said, "I don't know who I am anymore, Mike. My whole life I've just been working, and now I don't even know what to do with myself." That sentence stayed with me for a long time. We live in a society where success is measured by salary, job title, and possessions, not by peace of mind. But once you hit your 40s, you start to realize money can't buy back lost time, and fame can't fill the emptiness inside. That's why I made this video, not to teach you how to get rich quick, but to invite you to rethink money value and your own life. I want you to imagine this. One morning, you wake up not because of an alarm, but because the sunlight gently slips through your curtains. You're not rushing to check emails or stressing about bills. You have time to make a cup of tea, to walk with your spouse, to call that child you haven't spoken to in a while. You feel light, peaceful, whole, not because you have millions in the bank, but because you have freedom, intention, and meaning. That is true wealth. But to get there, you need to understand 9 lessons that school never taught you. Lessons that seem small, yet can change the way you see the world and yourself. Lessons I didn't learn from books, but from lost mistakes and the silent teachers life sent my way. I used to believe that hard work was enough. I used to think money was the measure of success, and I used to believe I could control everything. But after facing failure, I realized this. Not every effort is rewarded with money. Not every opportunity is worth pursuing. And not every dream needs to be grand. Sometimes peace and self-mastery are life's greatest treasures. I still remember the first time I lost everything in an investment. I had saved for years, and within 3 months, it was gone. It felt like the ground collapsed beneath my feet. But in that very moment, I realized I hadn't lost everything. I only lost what I thought was valuable, because the real treasures, my knowledge, health, and experience, were still mine. From that point on, I learned to make money work for me instead of letting it control my emotions and my life. An old mentor once told me, money is like a knife. It can save your life or it can hurt you. It all depends on how you hold it. And I think that's true not just about money, but about life itself. You see, after decades, I've come to understand wealth doesn't start with your wallet. It starts with your mindset. You can earn $10,000 a month, but if you spend $12,000, you're still broke. You can earn $3,000 a month, but if you learn how to make money serve you, you're already free. I want to share with you the things I wish I had known sooner. If I could go back to my 30-year-old self, I'd say, don't just learn how to make money. Learn how to understand it. Learn how to live so money never controls you. And if you're watching this today, I want you to know it's never too late to start again. It doesn't matter if you're 40, 50, or 60. You can still rewrite your story. What matters is that you pause, reflect, and choose to live differently. In this video, I'll share with you the 9 lessons that schools never teach, but life teaches in the most real, often painful ways. Lessons about money, mindset, time, and happiness. Lessons drawn from my own journey, not so you can avoid every mistake, but so when you fall, you'll understand why and how to stand up stronger. Because in the end, life isn't a race. It's a journey of learning to understand yourself, to manage yourself, and to give value to others. And when you truly grasp that, you'll realize wealth isn't about having more. It's about knowing enough, being grateful, and using what you have to live a life worth living. So if you're at that age where life makes you pause and look back, I invite you to walk this path with me. A journey not just about money, but about freedom, the kind that begins from within. 1. Learn to multiply money, not just earn it. I used to believe that hard work was all it took. I worked 12-hour days, earned a steady income, and thought I was doing fine. But one day I realized something painful. Money came in, and then it went right back out. I was working for money, not learning how to make money work for me. Young people often ask me, how can I become rich? And I always tell them, don't just learn how to earn money, learn how to multiply it. You can start small, a tiny investment account, a side project, or even a YouTube channel that shares something valuable. Each income stream is a seed. Nurture it, and it will grow. Money, when used wisely, can have children and even grandchildren, and one day you won't have to sweat for every dollar again. But remember this, investment isn't only about money. A new skill, a strong relationship, or an hour of reading every day, those are the kinds of investments that pay for life. 2. Let money buy back your time. A friend of mine, Linda, was a senior executive for 25 years. Every year she promised herself, next year I'll take more time off. But the next year, her calendar just got fuller. One day, she collapsed in a meeting. After she recovered, she told me, Mike, I realized I spent my whole life buying things I never had the time to enjoy. You see, we're taught that time is money. But the truth is, money is only valuable when it can buy you time back. Money only matters if it gives you the freedom to slow down, to be with the people you love, to do what makes your heart feel alive without fear of tomorrow. When you can rest without guilt, when you can smile watching your kids grow without rushing, that's real financial freedom. 3. Don't chase money. Create real value. I once met a wealthy entrepreneur in California. He told me, Mike, it took me 10 years to make my first million, but it took me 30 years to realize that money isn't the goal. Value is what makes you rich. That's the truth. When you focus on solving people's problems, money finds its way to you. The rich don't ask, how much can I make? They ask, who can I help and how? One of my students, Thomas, retired but wanted to do something meaningful. I told him to share his life experiences online. Today he runs a YouTube channel, helping thousands of people navigate midlife transitions, and he earns more than he ever did at his corporate job. That's the power of value. 4. Learn to use leverage. The world today doesn't reward those who work the hardest. It rewards those who work the smartest. I used to think I had to do everything myself. I was afraid to delegate, afraid others wouldn't do it right. But that mindset only left me exhausted. Then I discovered the power of leverage. Leverage is when you use tools, systems, or people to multiply your impact. Write a book and it can create value for decades. Build a system and it can make money even while you sleep. Leverage frees you from the busy trap and leads you toward true effectiveness and freedom. The older I get, the more I believe doing less, but in the right direction, is wisdom. 5. Never depend on a single source of income. In 2008, when the financial crisis hit, I lost the stable job I thought I'd have forever. I remember standing in my empty house, holding my last paycheck, not knowing what to do next. That was the moment I realized depending on one income stream is the most dangerous thing in an uncertain world. So I began building small rivers, a little income from coaching, a little from investments, a little from online projects. At first, they were just small streams, but over time they grew into a river, and I never feared losing a job again. If you're in your 40s or 50s, it's time to think about diversifying your income. It doesn't have to be big. Start small. A side project, a new skill, a simple way to share what you know. Remember, security doesn't come from a job, it comes from adaptability. 6. Develop financial intelligence, not just academic knowledge. School taught me how to solve equations, but never how to manage debt, save wisely, or invest for the future. I had a fancy degree, but I couldn't figure out my mortgage interest. I knew the Pythagorean theorem, but not how to budget. It wasn't until my 40s that I learned this truth. Financial intelligence isn't about math, it's about choices. You don't have to know everything. You just need to know where your money is going and why. Learn to plan. Invest wisely and resist emotional spending. The smartest people aren't those who earn the most, they're the ones who keep the most. 7. Patience, the secret weapon of success. In this age of instant results, patience has become rare. Everyone wants success fast. But I've lived long enough to know anything worthwhile takes time. I failed 3 times trying to start a business. The 4th time, I slowed down. I listened, learned, and adjusted. It took 5 years, but that became the project that finally gave me financial freedom. Remember, a seed won't grow if you keep digging it up every day to check on it. Patience isn't waiting passively. It's doing the work consistently even when you can't yet see the reward. 8. Gratitude in giving, the true measure of wealth. I used to think wealth meant having lots of money. But when my wife got sick, I realized money is just a tool. It's the words of encouragement, the warm hugs, the quiet dinners with family. That's what makes us truly rich. So I began giving more, mentoring people in their 50s who wanted to start over. And strangely, the more I gave, the more I received not just money, but trust, energy, and joy. Maybe that's the law of the universe. When you help others grow, your own value grows too. 9. Your health and mind, your greatest assets. Once I visited an old friend, a successful businessman. He had everything: a big house, luxury cars, fame. But he sighed and said, "Mike, I can buy anything except sleep." That hit me hard. If you sacrifice your health to earn money, then spend that money trying to buy back your health. You're only borrowing from yourself. Invest in your body and your mind first. Sleep well, eat clean, take walks. Keep your thoughts positive, because when you're healthy, you have the energy to work, to love, to live fully. I know these 9 lessons sound simple, but believe me, it took me a lifetime to realize they're the foundation of a free and fulfilling life. If you're in midlife, take this as a gentle reminder: it's never too late to start. Start learning about money and how to make it work for you. Start treasuring your health, your time, and the people you love. Start living in a way that feels meaningful to you. Because in the end, money is just a tool. But how you live, that's your true legacy. You know, when I was younger, I used to think success was about numbers. How much money I had in my bank account. How many people knew my name. How many things I could afford to buy. But now at 60, I realize real success isn't in your wallet. It's in how you feel when you wake up in the morning. Do you feel at peace? Do you feel that your life has meaning? Do you feel calm when you look back at where you've been? If your answer is yes, then you're already richer than most of the world. I've met many successful people, CEOs, artists, investors. They used to chase money like it was air, but when they finally had everything, they felt empty. A friend of mine, a former CFO of a large corporation, once told me he used to think freedom meant having a lot of money. But after retiring, he realized that true freedom is being able to live life on your own terms without the fear of losing anything. And that kind of freedom, you don't need millions of dollars to have it. You just need to understand how to use money instead of letting money use you. You just need to make sure every dollar you spend brings meaning. You just need to focus on value, not on vanity. I want you to imagine this. You wake up one morning, make yourself a cup of coffee, open the window, hear the birds singing, and feel at peace. No rush, no fear, no need to prove anything. You know you have enough to live enough, to share enough to smile. That, my friend, that is financial freedom. It's not a number in your bank account. It's a state of mind. It's knowing that you're living in alignment with what truly matters to you. Now, don't get me wrong. Money is important. It gives us choices. It gives us safety. It gives us possibilities, but it only truly matters when you know why you're earning it. Money should be your companion, not your master. If you learn how to use it wisely, it can help you live a meaningful life, not a life spent running after it. I once met a woman named Sarah in New York. After her husband passed away, she was left with only $5,000 and a small shop. She didn't know business, didn't understand finance, but instead of giving up, she started learning. She watched videos, read books, asked questions, tried and failed many times. 10 years later, she owned a small chain of stores and ran a foundation that helps single mothers start their own businesses. When I asked her, "Sarah, what kept you going?" she smiled and said, "Because I stopped working for money. I started working for meaning." I never forgot that. Because in the end, every real success begins with purpose, not your paycheck. You know, we can't take our money with us when we leave this world, but we can leave behind our impact, our memories, our influence. Your children, the people you helped, the ones who smiled because of you, that's your true legacy. Money fades, things break, but the value you create never disappears. People often ask me, Mike, if you could go back to your 30s, what would you do differently? And I tell them I'd worry less. I'd stop trying to prove myself so much. I'd slow down just enough to truly understand where I'm going. And maybe I'd learn about money earlier, not to become richer, but to become free sooner. Have you ever felt that way? Like you've been working all your life, but not really living? If so, maybe this is your moment to pause, not to give up, but to redirect. Take a few minutes each day to ask yourself, is what I'm doing today bringing me closer to freedom? If I stopped working, would the system I'm building still support me? And the biggest question of all, what value am I creating for the world? Because you see, money always flows toward value. And if you've listened this far, I want you to remember one thing. You are never too old to start again. It's never too late to learn how to master your money, your time, and your life. You've spent half your life working for others. Now it's time to live for yourself. Don't be afraid to start small. Fear only grows when you don't start at all. Even if you just learn one small thing every day, how to manage your spending, how to invest safely, how to build discipline, that's still a huge step forward. And if you've ever asked yourself, can I really change at my age? My answer is yes. And not only that, you should. Because as long as you're breathing, you still have a chance. Life in the end is a lifelong classroom. School taught us how to follow rules, but life teaches us how to create value. And if there's only one thing you take away from everything I've said today, let it be this: don't chase money. Let money chase the value you create. When you do something meaningful, money will follow. When you live with gratitude, opportunities will open. When you keep learning, you'll never be poor. Thank you for spending your time with me today. If something I said touched your heart, share this video with someone who might need to hear it. You never know, a simple reminder, a small story, a single sentence could change someone's life. And if you'd like to keep walking this journey with me, this journey of learning to live free, wealthy, and meaningful, hit subscribe. Every week I'll share more real stories, real lessons from real people, just like us. Because in the end, we don't need more. We just need to understand more. And when we understand, we become free.